Senator Leyva, you have item 2, SB 946.
Good morning, Madam Chair and committee members. I am very excited to be here this morning and present SB 946, which is about civic engagement, specifically about students. So when I ran for office, one of the things that I hoped to accomplish if I was elected is to find a way to get our youth more civically engaged. As we know, people don't vote like they should. Our young people don't always take part in the process like we would like them to. And I think sometimes we forget that people still die in other countries for the right to vote. And I think we as women sometimes forget that we haven't even had the right to vote for 100 years yet. So I'm very excited about SB 946. What this bill will do is it will allow school districts to receive ADA funding, average daily attendance, for students who volunteer as poll workers during election cycles. Currently, schools do not receive ADA payments for excused absences of high school students volunteering at polling places during elections. Sadly, this means that schools are financially penalized for promoting student civic engagement and giving students direct and firsthand knowledge of the election process. Each election cycle, California's 58 county election officials must recruit over 80,000 poll workers to staff over 20,000 polling places. These counties often rely on high school students to do these tasks, some of which include setting up polling places before Election Day, greeting voters and ensuring that each voter has signed the roster, issuing a paper ballot, instructing the voter on how to correctly mark the ballot, providing bilingual language assistance when necessary. But to me, most importantly, these students have the ability to witness firsthand civic engagement and be a part of the process. Beyond the clear benefits that these youth provide at these polling stations, they experience the civic engagement process. According to the California Civic Engagement Product, only 52% of eligible Californians ages 18 to 24 are registered to vote, and only 8.2 actually cast a ballot in the last statewide election. Isn't that terrible? These statistics suggest that California's past efforts to engage young people in the democratic process have been inadequate. In 2012, the Center of Information and Research on Civic Learning and Engagement found that there is a clear relationship between a student's high school civic education experience and their political participation. Clearly, schools play a key role in educating our young people to be successful. A 2014 report by the California Task Force on K-12 Civic Learning, co-founded by the California Supreme Court Chief Justice Tani Cantil and State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tom Torlakson, recommended that students need to get out of the school building to practice civic engagement. By allowing school districts to receive the average daily attendance, SB 946 ensures that schools will not be disadvantaged for promoting civic engagement and encouraging students to volunteer during the elections. In turn, students will help increase the voting and civic participation levels amongst youth and as a community for whole generations to come. The students would be required to write a report on what they learned during their civic engagement process. Dr. Pan and I had a little chat this morning about maybe creating a standard so that there's a little more substance to what the students have to do, and I'm very open to that. So with that, I have some witnesses here to testify. One is James Schwab from the California Secretary of State's office.
Thank you. In support of the bill.
James Schwab on behalf of Secretary of State Alex Padilla. The Secretary is pleased to sponsor SB 946, which will remove an important barrier for students to participate and learn about civic engagement. Our office works with counties and assists them to encourage schools to allow students to participate as poll workers. The feedback we receive from counties is that students are oftentimes the most enthusiastic, most helpful poll workers they get during the election. And students tell us that they love being poll workers. It's a worthwhile experience for them. They see the voting process firsthand. They learn all about the rules and procedures and rights that voters are granted. And one of the best practices we've seen from having visited counties across the state is when students see the voting process, when they experience the voting process, how a voting machine works, the rights they have as a voter, they're more likely to begin voting and keep voting throughout their lifetime. And so I think SB 946 implements one of the best practices that research suggests we can do to encourage students to vote. And that's allowing them to participate outside the classroom in activities that they learn about civic engagement, learn about voting, and learn about the election process. And I think that's why you'll see the county election officials support this bill, and there's a wide range of support as well. With that, I ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill.
Yes, I'm Trudy Schaefer, representing the League of Women Voters of California. The mission of the League, of course, is to encourage an informed and active citizenry, and we especially support programs that encourage young people to get involved in elections and government. SB 946 will encourage high schools to work with their local election officials to recruit and train student poll workers, and students will get the hands-on experience that, as Mr. Schwab has described, really helps bring them into the whole system of participation in our democracy. By eliminating the loss of revenue to school districts that occurs when students do participate as poll workers, we'll avoid punishing the schools financially if they actually encourage students to work at the polls and participate and foster participation in the democratic process. So we encourage you to vote yes.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill?
Good morning. Pamela Gibbs, representing the Los Angeles County Office of Education. We, too, are in support of this measure. We have a huge effort every year to send students to Washington, D.C. in the efforts to promote civic engagement and learning. We think this bill fosters that initiative, and we strongly urge your support. We think it also will encourage students to become lifelong participants in the process and perhaps even serve as leaders one day as they see how important being a engaged citizen is. So thank you.
Thank you. In support of the bill?
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. My name is Tristan Brown with the California School Employees Association. Without belaboring the points already made, we think this is a great win for students to learn more about the process, a win for the process itself with more engagement, and a win for school districts to no longer be penalized when students want to engage in this activity. So we highly encourage an aye vote, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Others in support of the bill?
California Federation of Teachers. We believe this is an important tool for promoting civic engagement. We're in strong support of this measure.
Thank you.
Good morning. Chauncey Smith, American Civil Liberties Union of California, in strong support of Senator Leva's bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others in support of the bill? Is there any opposition to the bill? Okay, seeing none. Are there questions from members? Senator Pan.
Well, thank you so very much, Chair, and I want to thank Senator Leva for bringing this important bill forward. As someone who's developed service learning curricula in the past, I know how important it is to have our students actually not just be in the classroom, but leave the classroom and engage and have that direct experience. I think as you mentioned in your testimony and I talked before, and I'm not sure it really needs necessarily an amendment to the bill itself, but clearly, as an educational activity, I think it's important that the educators actually set some outcomes and standards. I know that part of the bill includes them writing an essay that whether it's the school district or the teachers or something, that there are some expectations so that students go through this experience. They could spend up to 5 days out of the classroom doing that, and I know they have to do their tests and other things as well, that there are some clear educational objectives that will help enhance the educational experience and also allow the teachers to be able to evaluate what the students have learned and also improve the program as an educational program as well as a service learning experience. Thank you.
Good suggestions. Thank you, Senator Pan.
Okay, Senator Hancock.
Yeah, I'm very prepared to move the bill when the time comes. I just have a historical note to this. I carried this bill twice as an assembly member. It got vetoed by then Governor Schwarzenegger. Hopefully, I believe that Kevin Mullen, Assemblymember Mullen's father, carried it at least once, if not twice, additionally. It was originally suggested to me by a social studies class in my district, And the kids were just so excited about it, and because they had actually gotten to do this. And however, you know, their school couldn't get ADA and whatever. But I think it's really experiential learning in the best sense of the word. I'm very happy to vote for it again and would like to be added as a co-author at the appropriate time, Senator
Wonderful.
Leyva.
Thank you, Senator Hancock.
Senator Huff.
Have you missed me on the committee, Madam Chair?
We all have.
No, I haven't missed you.
That's true.
Good.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think you've scratched an issue that is important, which is civic engagement by our students. And there are many opportunities for students to get involved outside of school hours, non-school hours. They can phone bank, they can walk precincts, they can make signs, they can attend rallies. Those are just political things. There's plenty of civic organizations that they can participate in. I've certainly had interns in my office. I've valued the opportunity to learn from them as they learn from me, and had an intern just show up, you know, and take pictures of my desk on the floor, tweeted out here just in the last day or so. But we as a legislature suspended the test for civics in 2013. So we currently have no test. California has no civics test, and that sends a message to our educational learning institutions that civics isn't a priority. Now, we'll eventually get one. It'll be 5 years or so, but we need to have a coordinating effort on this. And I think there's a lot of other activities that are not listed that could be. I guess what I'm saying is we seem to send mixed messages. On the one hand, we don't want to hold them accountable, even though we see that there is a need. And we want to take things that take from their regular academic time, and I get it that they got to make up all the work and stuff, but I do think there's enough opportunities for them to do it. I think a better approach would be to improve the civic education. We'd actually prioritize it and then hold schools accountable for either teaching it or not. But to do that, we actually have to assess their capabilities. So I'm not going to be supporting your bill today, but I do think you have touched on a very important issue in our schools.
Thank you, Senator Huff.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? I am going to support the bill. The bill has been moved. All right. Let's call the roll.
Okay. You have item 2, measures SB 946. The motion is to do pass to appropriations. Senator Liu?
Aye.
Liu, aye. Block? Aye. Block, aye. Hancock? Aye. Hancock, aye. Huff? No. Huff, no. Leyva?
Aye.
Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Monning? Aye. Monning, aye. Pan? Aye. Pan, aye. Vidak? Aye. Vidak, aye.
7-1, the bill is out. We'll keep the roll open for our absent member. Thank you very much.
Thank you, committee members.
Members, we have one last bill, item 4, SB 1014. Let me see. Senator Vidak, you did such a wonderful job last night. Good morning, members. SB 1014 authorizes school districts to establish a pregnant and parenting student leave program that closely mirrors existing leave programs for parents in the workforce. In 2002, California became the first state in the nation to establish a paid family leave program. And over a decade later, we are home to one of the most progressive leave programs in the nation. Providing parents leave is more than just physical healing. It's allowing parents to bond with their children, to attend to their baby's needs in those first critical weeks and months is paramount to giving these young people a great start in life. So SB 1014 strikes a balance between the needs of infants and their young parents. In 2012, nearly 35,000 children were born to individuals between the ages of 15 and 19 in California. And many of these parents face system-enforced obstacles to receiving an education equal to their peers. They often are pushed out of traditional education settings and inadequately accommodated. It's no wonder that nationwide, only 38% of women that have a child before the age of 18 graduate from high school. 19% obtained a GED, and only 2% of these young women go to college before the age of 30. My bill will help to improve these numbers by ensuring that young parents are provided with educational opportunities to allow them to balance their roles as students and parents. SB 1014 provides up to 6 weeks of parental leave for a birth with no complications, 8 weeks for cesarean, and 4 weeks of bonding time for fathers. During this time, students are provided with schoolwork that they must balance with their parental responsibilities. Additionally, the bill updates the definition of temporary disability to include pregnancies, childbirth, false pregnancies, termination of pregnancies, and recovery. This definition is consistent with federal law and state regulations. We have an obligation to offer all California students access to educational opportunities. That obligation does not cease to exist when those students become parents. It is in the best interest of students and their children that we make every effort to keep young people enrolled and engaged in appropriate curriculum that recognizes the unique challenges of parenting and completing school. And here to testify today are Wendy Kalegba, Senior Director of the Community Programs at Girls Incorporated for Alameda County, and Lydia Pena from ACT for Women and Girls.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Wendy Kalimag, and I'm the Senior Director of Community Programs and Girls Incorporated of Alameda County, where we inspire all girls to be strong through healthy living, smart through educational success and attainment, and bold through independence. I am here today to urge you to support SB 1014, which gives parenting and pregnant students the right to parental leave with their children while continuing their education. In the early 2000s, Girls Inc. had the honor of participating in the facilitation of the School-Age Mothers Program for youth in Southern Alameda County. The program provided support for young parents to help them be students while being also able to juggle their new role as parents. We were able to see them blossom and successfully take on the challenges of being both parents and students. We were especially focused on helping these young parents complete high school and transition back to their regular school. In 2013, the program transitioned into the CalSafe program in Hayward. This program saw higher graduation rates than some traditional high schools in California. As you know, in 2013, CalSafe was defunded, and opportunities for California students to bond with their children while pursuing their education have decreased. SB 1014 will help California to adequately address the needs of parenting and pregnant students. The bill's student, parental, and sick leave builds upon prior legislative initiatives that promote educational equity for all students by allowing pregnant and parenting students to continue their education by ensuring they receive parental leave. This accommodation will help to increase high school graduation rates and improve the outcomes for these young families. Young parents face many obstacles. First of all, they are less likely to go to and to graduate from college. They have lower income earning capacities and are at higher risk of living in poverty. And we also know that their children are less likely to finish high school themselves. So parenting and pregnant youth currently have the right to stay in school, yet they are often encouraged to enroll in programs that do not fulfill the requirements to get into the college, and many are pushed out of school altogether. In addition, parental leave is both important for the child and the parents. We know that when women get parental and sick leave, they have better mental health outcomes after pregnancy. They're able to adapt better to the demands of parenting, and they ultimately have healthier families. This is no different from young parents as well. Also, giving young parents bonding time with their children is beneficial for their young child, especially as they become future students. They have better attachment between parent and child, which is linked to better performance in school, better behavioral outcomes, and also better cognitive skills. Every person has the right to parent their children with dignity and respect, and pregnant and parenting students in California have the right to the same educational opportunity as other students. Opportunities to continue their education and to have bonding and sick time for their children are dependent on the school district they reside in. Geography alone should not determine the future of pregnant or parenting students. SB 1014 will be helpful to ensure that all pregnant and parenting students can have the time to take care of their child while pursuing their education, resulting in their family reaching their fullest potential.
Good morning, Minister and Chair and committee members. My name is Lydia Pena, and I am a representative of Acting Women and Girls, sponsoring organization SB 1014. SB 1014 is an important bill because it will empower parent youth like me to take control of their education and provide them with opportunities that they desperately need. When I was 14 years old, I became pregnant as a result of sexual abuse and gave birth to my beautiful daughter a week shy of my 15th birthday. When I got pregnant, I attended a traditional high school in Tulare County in the Central Valley that I really enjoyed. Pregnancy brought many challenges, including a lot of judgment from teachers and administration. I found myself navigating a system without any support because I was in foster care, and the school tried to push me out to a continuation school. I had complications in my 7th month of pregnancy, as a result was pushed into independent studies. Towards the end of my pregnancy, I missed a bit of the school. After my daughter was born, I didn't have a type of bond or maternity leave because I was at risk of not graduating due to my absences and need the credits. I went back to school a week after my daughter was born. Under the SB 1014, I would have had more time to recover and a better support to make sure I stayed on track. My journey did not end there. I was determined to graduate from high school. I wanted to prove everybody wrong. I ended up transferring to a continuation school because they provided childcare. I didn't have anybody to watch my baby. It was during the time in continuation school that I received Saturday school for absences. The absences post-pregnancy were due to my daughter's appointments, such as medical and WIC and etc. Saturday school was the only way for me to make up my time. Many of my friends also had unexcused absences due to appointments for their children. Our school would only excuse absences for the moms and not the babies. Through SB 1014, I would have had access to excused sick leave and for my child without being penalized. Graduating from high school wasn't easy for me. I graduated 1 year after the rest of my class. If this bill and its protections had been around back then, I might have been able to finish on time. I am here today to speak for all the young moms to urge your support on SB 1014. Young moms know it's important to graduate high school, but we need the better support systems to make it happen. Thank you.
Yeah, is there another person? Anyone else?
Yeah, my name is Erin Garner Ford, and I'm representing Act for Women and Girls. Our organization works directly with young moms, and specifically young moms like Lydia, and we are supporting this legislation as a co-sponsor, and we urge all of you to support it as well.
Maya Ingram for the ACLU of California in support of SB 1014.
Hi, my name is Monica Dominguez, and I represent for Women in ACT, and I agree to the vote.
Thank you. Any opposition? Questions from the members? I'd like to move the bill. Okay.
Thank you, Senator Liu. I just want to clarify that certainly I think it's very, the the purpose of the bill to give leave for parents is a very good one. I also want to be sure that in terms of the education and because it's, taking the time out, we need to be sure that the student, when they come back, who of course is busy taking care of a child, as a father in the future should understand that, is also going to be ready to pick up or have the assistance they need to be sure that they're able to pick up when they come back, either getting additional help, and we're giving the schools money for this through the ADA, either during their leave or when they return, that they are able to get back up to speed so they can continue in their studies. So if you can address that.
They're supposed to have an educational plan at the beginning of their third trimester. And so hopefully that's, somebody is monitoring this. A school district is supposed to be monitoring this, or a teacher assigned to this particular young person, and make sure that the work is done, because we're asking that ADA be credited to the school.
Just to clarify, because, for example, if the student doesn't notify the school that they're going, their third trimester about to take, I don't know how much advance notice, and certainly on the father's side, you probably have a few signs if he doesn't say anything that in terms of the leave.
Well, I mean, hopefully this notification process is in their packet when they come to school. I understand that sometimes paperwork gets lost, et cetera. This needs to be a proactive thing from an administration at a school, from a school site, not only from the administration. So hopefully, as if this bill is passed and moves on, et cetera, that kind of notification, we've asked for it in the bill, that school districts will perform this service.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions? We have a motion. Would you like to
Ask for your aye vote.
as amended?
Yes. Okay. So item 4, Measure SB 1014. The motion is due pass as amended to appropriation. Liu? Aye. Liu, aye. Block? Aye. Block, aye. Hancock?
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Huff? Huff, aye. Leyva? Mendoza? Monning? Aye. Monning, aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. Vidak?
Aye.
Vidak, aye. 7-0.
7-0. We'll hold it open for rest. Adjourn.
Okay, we'll keep the roll open for some absent members. I think they're at JLAC. Okay, it's item 4.
Item 4, SB 1014. The motion is do pass as amended to appropriations, with the chair voting aye.
Leva, aye.
Leva, aye.
All right. Good to go.
Thank you, Senator. Yeah.
Back to jail like I go.
Yeah. Send Senator Mendoza this way.
Oh, I.
Yeah. Okay, let's open the roll for absent member.
Okay, we have item 1, SB 933. The motion is do pass as amended to appropriations, with the chair voting aye. Mendoza?
Aye.
Mendoza, aye. 9-0.
9-0, that bill is out.
Okay, we have item 2, which is Measure SB 946. The motion is to do pass to appropriations, with the chair voting aye. Mendoza?
Aye.
Mendoza, aye. 8-1.
8-1, that bill is out.
Okay, we have item 3. Item 3, the measure is SB 1006. The motion is due pass as amended to public safety, with the chair voting aye. Mendoza.
Aye.
Mendoza, aye. We have 7-2.
7-2, that bill is out.
Then we have item 4, as measure SB 1014. The motion is due pass as amended to appropriations, with the chair voting aye. Mendoza.
Aye.
Mendoza, aye. 9-0.
9-0, that bill is out. Thank you all. The Education Committee is adjourned.